Alright, so it's that time of the year. It is time for my 24-25 Premier League predictions. Let's go straight into it. In 20th place, I'm putting Southampton. Barely got promoted, obviously they had to go through the promotion playoffs. I don't really think they're going to bring much to the Premier League, and I think just like in the 22-23 campaign, they're going to go down 20th. Pretty simple, to be honest. And joining them in 19th, Leicester. They obviously lost the manager that did get them the 101 points that won them the championship last season, and they lost their best midfielder Kieran Dewsbury-Hall to Chelsea. Both of them actually went to Chelsea. I'm not saying this team is not talented anymore, but I just feel they don't. Without those two, they are going to struggle, and I could have easily put them 20th, but I think that'd be slightly better than that.
In 18th, I'm putting Ipswich, even though I did make a video where I said that I think they're going to survive. It's just very difficult, especially if you look at Nottingham Forest team, who are better in my opinion. I do respect Kieran McKenna though, he's a great manager, and I think he'll get this team to almost survival, but on the last few match days, Nottingham Forest will survive. Yes, that is right. I do think Nottingham Forest are going to survive in the Premier League. Yet again, I think this will be their third season now. They've recruited excellently, and I think they'll be stronger than last year.
In 16th, I'm putting Wolves. Didn't really realise that in the Premier League. You know, they're just kind of a team that are always in that 12th to 16th spot, and safe, comfortable staying in the Premier League. They did sell their best centre-back to West Ham for £40 million, which don't know how they got that much for him. In 15th, I've put Fulham. They don't really have any extraordinary players, so I think this is not generous. This would be a downgrade on the season that they had last year, but I think this season the teams above them are going to have just much better performances, and that's why I've put them ultimately down to 15th. In 14th, I've decided to go for Everton, who obviously they did lose Onana to Aston Villa, which is a big loss, but other than that, they do have a strong team of strong, obviously, core. I think without the points deduction this season, 14th is very achievable for Everton. In 13th, I've gone for Brentford. This is an interesting one. Last season, they were down in 16th, actually. Yeah, they were 16th. Because, obviously, they were missing their star striker, Ivan Toney, who performed magnificently at the Euros. If he performs like that for Brentford, 13th should be no problem. They have a good manager as well in Thomas Frank. And the rest of the team is chill. I think Crystal Palace will occupy that 12th place. This would be a downgrade by one spot to last season, but they have just sold Elise, which is their top 3 best players. So I do expect a little bit of less progress, but ultimately it's not going to impact them in the next 3 years. Also, lovely home kit from Crystal Palace. And then in 11th, I've gone for Brighton. Kind of disappointing, seeing as 2 seasons ago they were in the Conference League, I believe. So putting them in 11th is quite harsh, but they haven't got Roberto De Zerbi anymore. He's gone to Marseille, and all of their not all, a lot of their best players have been sold. So they don't have the same team that they did 2 years ago, and they're just kind of going with what they have. Obviously, one of their key signings this season was the young Namibian right winger Minter, who's expected to perform well, and I think he has a potential. Okay, top half now. In 10th, I've gone for Bournemouth. No surprise, incredible manager who is leading them through a revolution, to say, and they're playing extremely well. They didn't sell any key players, and I expect them to just keep going. Dominic Solanke, crucial for them. West Ham in 9th. They couldn't help Arsenal win the Premier League last season on the final day. That's alright though. And I just think West Ham don't have a specific star player that can lead them into the top 8. Because obviously Lucas Paqueta, I think he's banned or something, but I'm not 100% sure. I need to fact check that. In 8th, I've gone for Newcastle. Obviously, yes, I know they're one of the top 5 richest teams in the world, but, well, at least in the Premier League, I'm pretty sure they're the richest, but Man City could be richer. But I just haven't seen any magnificent signings. Tottenham, I predict, will get 7th. I've seen somebody put them as winning the Premier League. I'm sorry, but what is wrong with me? Tottenham are not winning the Premier League this season. I think 7th is not generous because they are a good team. It's just they kind of lack. If they had Harry Kane, I'd be putting them in fifth again or fourth. You know how they used to finish in the 2019 season. In sixth, I've put Aston Villa. Yes, obviously, I'm expecting a bit of a decline, seeing as they're going to have Champions League football, so it will be a bit tougher. But I don't expect it to be a huge decline. They do have enough squad depth, I think, to be able to handle it and remain in the top six. Key signing, this season. Onana from Everton, the CDM, very good player, and Maatsen, the left back, so they have also consolidated the defence. Into the top five, and we begin this off with Chelsea. We had to include Chelsea somewhere, and I don't think they're going to get Champions League. Come on, guys, actually, if this Chelsea side gets Champions League, fair enough to them. Obviously, they've spent like £1 billion in the last 2 years. In fourth, just barely scraping the Champions League spot, is Liverpool. Obviously, Klopp is not there anymore. They have their new coach, Arne Slot, and this is more of a transition year. So I think fourth for Liverpool may be slightly generous. Some could argue fifth or sixth. But I still have hope in Liverpool. They obviously haven't sold many of their key players. I think Arne Slot will do okay. Fourth will be alright. Obviously, they did win the Premier League not long ago, but fourth is still okay for Liverpool, especially if you look at the top three teams. In the top three, we have Man City, Arsenal, and Manchester United. The last time I gave Manchester United hope, I think, was 2 seasons ago, where I predicted them third and they finished sixth. I think they'll finish third. But they've made already 2 incredible signings this transfer window, which I did talk about in this video. That's actually, I've scheduled it for tomorrow morning. So they have signed Euro, the 18-year-old centre-back from Lille, and Xerxes, the incredible striker, who him and Højlund won an attack, to be honest. Third would be actually a good season for United, especially as they finished 8th last season. In second, it kind of sucks to say, but I think Arsenal are going to finish second again. Look, I think this will be Pep Guardiola's last year. It may not be. I may be completely wrong, but it probably will be. They have made their key signings have been Calafiore from Bologna, which, in my opinion, he may be slightly overrated, but I'm probably going to be proven wrong straight away. And obviously, they've cemented David Raya into the team, who has definitely overshadowed Ramsdale. It's just this Man City team is impossible to beat, and they're going to win the 5th Premier League title in a row, which is crazy. And they've added to their incredible attack by signing Savio from Girona, and oh my goodness,